Hello viewers, thanks for watching Parties Extra, brought to you by YWCA. Jan Peery and Reggie Cook are here today. They're going to tell us about the Engaging Men's Breakfast and what's going on at the YWCA. Welcome you all.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Well, we wanted to hear about one of your main events that's coming up real soon, in a couple of weeks. So it's the Engaging Men's Breakfast. So
Yes,
Reggie,
Helen.
you're the chairman. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, ma'am. It's a breakfast that we started about 2 years ago with the idea of getting men in the business community involved in awareness of domestic violence in our state. We unfortunately are on the top of a list that we wish we weren't on in Oklahoma. And one of the things we need to do is make sure that people are aware of that. Awareness will help us do things to make that a different list and be on the other side of the list, which is where we like to be. But it's next Wednesday morning at the Cox Convention Center. The check-in starts at 7 a.m. The breakfast is at 7:30. We have an incredible speaker this year. Should be a very good program. We try to get it buttoned up and be done in 40 minutes so people aren't too late getting back to work. And we're still looking for table hosts. If there's someone out there that wants to be a table host, all that means is you need to get 7 of your friends to come with you to be at the breakfast. Or if you just want to come as a participant at the end of the breakfast, the only thing we'll ask of you is to make a personal commitment of $100. We like men to do that as a personal commitment rather than a company commitment, just to show their involvement in basically taking a stand against domestic violence. And we'd hope that they would come maybe as a table host in the next year if they're a participant this year. But we'd like to see as many businessmen throughout Oklahoma City be there as possible. We've invited a lot of them, and there'll be a lot of them there, but we would love to overfill the room.
Well, Reggie, you all started with, it's only been 2 years, hasn't it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you started with 143?
Yeah, the first year we had just over 140 people. Last year we had about 450 people. We hope to double that again this year. It's kind of almost network marketing, if you would. You teach one and then one brings another in. So we hope that kind of follows the old Promise Keepers that used to be around town, and that message continues to spread, and that men take this to heart and recognize that the way you stop things is you take a stand against them. And that's what we want is our senior leaders in this state and this country to take a stand and say, we're not going to accept this anymore.
I love that. That's wonderful. Your speaker is really outstanding. So you want to tell us a little bit about him or what he's...
Jan's got a little more background on him than I do, so she can probably give a better commercial than me.
Well, I think he sounds very interesting.
It's Mark Wynn, and Mark is, he's a child survivor of domestic violence in his home, very violent home, and eventually his mother got he and his brother out, and he went on to a life in law enforcement and was able to take his experience as a child and realize the impact that has on children, and help to utilize that experience and the knowledge that he had gained as a survivor to impact law enforcement in his area and to basically turn around their department.
That is wonderful.
He's pretty awesome. I have sat next to seasoned law enforcement officers and watched them be very strongly impacted by Mark's message.
Well, that's going to be, and he'll do it in 45 minutes. That's even.
We'll be out there no later than 8:30. I had one of the attorneys that was there last year, a wonderful gentleman, and he said it was the most powerful 40 minutes he had ever sat through. So I'm sure.
So viewers, this may be what you need to be doing. What's the date again?
It's Wednesday, August 13th. Registration starts at 7 a.m. Breakfast is at 7:30, and that's at the Cox Convention Center downtown.
Perfect.
And if you haven't registered, just show up.
Perfect. Okay, well, also going on at the Y, Jan, you all dedicated the new Healing Path Labyrinth.
Yes.
And that was a dedication and an event, and a lot of people came. So tell us a little bit about that.
We did. St. Paul's helped us. So Reverend Susan Joplin is probably our biggest angel with this, and she had the idea of putting in a labyrinth, which is a healing path, a healing journey, and really helped us to recruit the dollars. The Kirkpatricks helped to fund this, as well as Susan raised the other dollars. So it was about a $20,000 project. The maze, it's not a maze. The labyrinth itself is just absolutely beautiful. It's all handmade bricks. The design creates a journey that is meant to be a healing journey.
And so you walk it.
You walk it. And there is a symbolism with it. There is a spiritual content of it. Anyone can walk the path. Unlike a maze, which I always want to tend to connect it, a maze is meant to trick the mind and create barriers for you to make it through. The labyrinth is just the opposite. It's meant to soothe the mind and open the mind so that you can begin a healing process. So for our clients, it is a major blessing. And even Susan, as they talked about even our staff. Our staff deal with a lot of really tough situations, and so it'll be an opportunity for them as well. We're thrilled with it.
Your building's coming right up.
It is.
Catch us up there.
Well, it is. It's enclosed now. It doesn't have walls yet, but it has all the insulation, structural steel, and all that. I've gotten to walk it. When I look out my window and I see it, of course, the trees now have bloomed and they're kind of beginning to block that. But all I can say is it looks massive. You know, that space that it was in just did not look big enough. It just looks massive, and we're counting down. We're looking.
You're on time.
We're on time. Actually, maybe a little early. We look to be done in the early spring.
Well, and give us a little rundown. The shelter provides food and clothing and what?
For all of our services, we have residential and non-residential, and they can all access the same services, except of course residential being different. But we have a hotline where people can get in touch with us and make that connection to a trained professional. It isn't just a hotline or emergency line. It is answered by trained professionals who understand domestic violence, how dangerous it can be, and sexual assault hotlines as well. Those two are often very much intersected. Why they come to the shelter, they're helped to develop safety plans, to develop goals. What are some of the things they need to accomplish to be able to set themselves free of a life with violence and controlled by violence, actually. And then they have advocates who work with them. They have classes. They get to be able to listen to other victims and survivors and learn their stories may be very similar. Find those steps that they need to take to be able to get out and be able to find some sustainability.
Well, thanks you all for being there, and thanks for all your help with the women and children who are subject to domestic violence. It is great that so many people are aware and care. You are both doing a wonderful job in the community. Thank you
very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us here.